oh so sad sighing by sycamore tree, single a green willow, her hand on her bosom, her head on her knees, sing willow, willow, willow. The fresh streams run by her and murmur and moan, sing willow, willow, willow. Her soft tears fell from her and softened the stone, sing willow, willow, willow. Prithee, Heidi, you come and run, sing all the green willow must be my darling. Let nobody blame in this scorn I approve.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to the final Wheel of Shakespeare challenge for 2022. We, we would do more, but it just so happens we do this every Saturday, and the next Saturday is Christmas Eve. The following Saturday, New Year's Eve. So, just makes sense to have this be our 2022 finale, and to look forward to use the time to get prepared for a good opening with the 2023 season. And so, one thing that everyone can look forward to, I will be working on it. I probably change the song, change the intro a little bit to remove from credits the people that regrettably have stopped coming, and maybe make a few adjustments in that, different music, and I didn't need to put that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started now with the final round for 2022, and Elizabeth is going to be our first performer today, and she will do. So Elizabeth is up, and Bill, you're on deck. You'll go after Elizabeth does. Portia, I pray you tarry. I think this is just before Bassanio is asked to choose. Act 3, Scene 2.
Okay.
Okay, so whenever you're ready.
Okay. I pray you, tarry. Pause a day or two before you hazard, for in choosing wrong, I lose your company. Therefore forbear a while. There's something tells me, but it is not love. I would not lose you. And you know yourself, hate counsels not in such a quality, but lest you should not understand me well, and yet a maiden hath no tongue but thought, I would detain you here some month or two before you venture for me. I could teach you how to choose right, but I am then forsworn. So will I never be. So may you miss me. But if you do, you'll make me wish a sin that I had been forsworn. Beshrew your eyes, they have overlooked me and divided me. One half of me is yours, the other half yours. Mine own, I would say, but if mine, then yours, and so all yours. Oh, these naughty times put bars between the owners and their rights. And so, though yours, not yours. Prove it so. Let fortune go to hell for it, not I. I speak too long. But 'tis to pease the time, to eke it and to draw it out in length, to stay you from election. Thank you.
Okay, very nice. Okay, good job, Elizabeth. And now, Bill, you're up, and Celia, you're on deck. You'll go after Bill does. This is Cominius and Coriolanus. I think this is the one I recently added to the wheel, so you'll be the first one.
Okay.
Cominius, Act 2, Scene 2 begins with "I shall lack voice." Have you found it?
Okay. Yeah, just a second. Found it. Okay. Okay. I shall not lack voice. The deeds of Coriolanus should be uttered feebly. Should not be uttered feebly. It is held that valor is the chiefest virtue, and most dignifies the haver. If it be, the man I speak of cannot in the world be singly counterpoised. At 16 years, when Tarquin made a head for Rome, he fought beyond the mark of others. Then our then dictator, whom with all praise I point at, saw him fight, when with his Amazonian chin he drove the bristled lips before him. He be bestrid and or pressed Roman, and in the council's view slew 3 opposers. Tarquin's self he met and struck him on the knee. In that day's feats, when he might act a woman in the scene, he proved best man in the field, and for his meed was browbound with the oak. His pupil age man entered thus, he waxed like a sea, and in the brunt of 17 battles since, he lurched all swords of the garland. For this last, before and in Corioli, let me say, I cannot speak him home. He stopped the flyers, and by his rare example made the crowd turn terror into sport, as weeds before a vessel under sail. So men obeyed and fell below his stem. His sword, death's, lost my place. Death's stamp. Where it did mark, it took from face to foot. He was a thing of blood, whose every motion was timed with dying cries. Alone he entered the mortal gate of the city, which he painted with shunless destiny. Ageless came off, and with a sudden reinforcement struck Corioli like a planet. Now is all his. When by and by the din of war gan pierce his ready sense, then straight his doubled spirit requickened what in flesh was fatigate, and to the battle came he, where he did run reeking o'er the lives of men as if for a perpetual spoil. Until he recalled both field and city hours, he never stood to ease his breast with panting. And
okay. Very nice introduction to a new monologue, being the first one to do it. Awesome. So let's see. Shelia is up next. Maggie, you're on deck. We'll go after Shelia does. Oh, this is another good one that's been added. I really like this one. The Duke of York and Richard II. Grace me no grace, nor uncle me no uncles. I love this one. It's not a common one, but it's one of my favorites. Irony of this character is so. Act 2, Scene 3. He's speaking to his nephew Bolingbroke here.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
Tut, tut, grace me no grace, nor uncle me no uncle. I am no traitor's uncle, and that word grace in an ungracious mouth is but profane. Why have those banished and forbidden legs dared once to touch a dust of England's ground? But then more, why they had dared to march so many miles upon her peaceful bosom, frightening her pale-faced villages with war and ostentation of despised arms? Comest thou because the anointed king is hence? Why, foolish boy, the king is left behind, and in my loyal bosom lies his power. Were I but now the lord of such hot youth as when brave Gaunt, thy father, and myself rescued the Black Prince, that young Mars of men, from forth the ranks of many thousand French. Oh, then, how quickly should this arm of mine, now prisoner to the palsy, chastise thee and minister correction to thy fault.
Awesome. Love that mono, and I also really love this. This is, Richard II. I've always thought is one of Shakespeare's most underrated plays. I love the play, and this character particularly has always been so fascinating to me about how he is so central to this theme about how Richard II as a play explores the ridiculousness of the divine right of kings theory. You see right here, he's lecturing his nephew about, you're a traitor because you're supporting Bolingbroke and his rebellion. And the same character who by the end of the play, now because the Civil War is over and Bolingbroke won, now his own son is a traitor because he doesn't support Bolingbroke because he didn't bet on the winning horse. Oh. And now Bolingbroke is God's anointed, and to be against him is to be against God. So, but very good with the first person to do that monologue, which explores that. Maggie is up. I am on deck. I will go after Maggie does.
Which one?
I almost landed it out.
Okay, Henry 4, Part 2, 5-5. All right.
Keep getting the new ones. Henry disowning Falstaff. I know thee not, old man.
Hang on, because I thought I had MIT open and it's not, so it's going to take me a second to get to it. Sorry about that.
The very end of Henry IV, Part 2, after Henry V has just been crowned, telling Falstaff, I know thee not, old man.
Henry IV, Part 2. Say again the act and scene.
Gosh.
I can't. I'm not looking at the page, so I'm looking at MIT.
It's at the very end.
Yeah, but I don't know what act and scene we're talking about because I can't see the screen at the same time I'm looking at MIT.
Act 5, Scene 5.
Okay, it's the very end. All right, and again, I am who? I'm sorry. It's just I can't look at both of them at the same time.
You're King Henry addressing Falstaff when.
Oh, I see. I know thee not.
Now it's I know thee not, old man.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is okay. I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. How ill white hairs become a fool and jester. I have long dreamed of such a kind of man, so surfeit swelled, so old and so profane. But being awaked, I do despise my dream. Make less thy body hence, and more thy grace. Leave gormandizing. Know the grave doth gape for thee thrice wider than for other men. Repine not to me with a fool-born jest. Presume not that I am the thing I was. For God doth know, so shall the world perceive, that I have turned away my former self. So will I those that kept me company, when thou dost hear I am as I have been. Approach me, and thou shalt be as thou wast, the tutor and feeder of my riots. Till then, I banish thee on pain of death, as I have done the rest of my misleaders, not to come near our person by 10 mile for competence of life I will allow you, that lack of means enforce you not to evil, and as we hear you do reform yourselves, we will, according to your strengths and qualities, give you advancement. Be it your charge, my lord, to see performed the tenor of our word. Set on.
Awesome. Okay, so my turn now. Oh, Henry just joined us, so I will go. Then, so we're glad Henry's here. Myself, then Henry, and then John, and then we will spin for some scenes. So my monologue is going to be. Boy, okay, Henry V. I think comment. As young as I am, I have observed these three swashers. I am a boy to them, all three, but all they three, though they would serve me, could not be man to me. For indeed, three such antics do not amount to a man. For Bardolph he is white-livered and red-faced, by the means whereof a face is it knout, but fights not. For Pistol he hath a killing tongue and a quiet sword, by the means whereof he breaks words and keeps whole weapons. For Nym he hath heard that men of few words are the best men, and therefore he scorns to say his prayers, lest he should be thought a coward. But his few bad words are matched with his few good deeds, for he never broke any man's head but his own, and that was against a post when he was drunk. They will steal anything and call it purchase. Bardolph stole a lute case, bore it 12 leagues, and sold it for 3 halfpence. Nym and Bardolph are sworn brothers in filching, and in Calais they stole a fire shovel. I knew by that piece of service the men would carry coals. They would have me as familiar with men's pockets as their gloves or their handkerchiefs, which makes much against my manhood if I should take from another's pocket to put into mine. For it is plain pocketing use of wrongs. I must leave them and seek some better service. Their villainy goes against my weak stomach, and therefore I must cast it up. Okay, that was fun, different from what I usually do. Okay, so Henry, glad you were able to make it. You will be doing. Upon the King. We keep getting Henry or somebody from King Henry.
Henry 5, 4, 1.
Yeah, Act 4, Scene 1. Upon the King.
Henry 5, 4, 1.
You ready?
No. So it's 4, 1. Does it start with those words?
Yes, upon the king.
Oh, so yes, I've got it. It's further
Okay,
down the last
whenever you're ready.
one. Can you give me a little bit of context?
This is the one before the Battle of Agincourt, reflecting on responsibility falling on his shoulders.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Is my audio okay as well?
Yeah, you sound.
Upon the king, let us our lives, our souls, our debts, our careful wives, our children, and our sins lay on the king. We must bear all. Oh, hard condition, twin born with greatness, subject to the breath of every fool, whose sense no more can feel but his own ringing. What infinite heart ease must kings neglect, that private men enjoy? And what of kings, that privates have not too, save ceremony, save general ceremony? And what art thou, thou idle ceremony? What kind of God art thou, that sufferest more of mortal griefs than do thy worshippers? What are thy rents? What are thy comings in? Oh, ceremony, show me but thy worth. What is that soul of adoration? Art thou aught else but place, degree, and form, creating awe and fear in other men? Wherein thou art less happy being feared than they in fearing. What drink'st thou oft instead of homage sweet, but poisoned flattery? Oh, be sick, great greatness, and bid thy ceremony give thee cure. Thinkest thou the fiery fever will go out with titles blown from adulation? Will it give place to flexure and low bending? Canst thou, when thou commandst the beggar's knee, command the health of it? No, thou proud dream that playest so subtly with the king's repose. I am a king that find thee, and I know 'tis not the balm, the sceptre, and the ball, the sword, the mace, the crown imperial, the interessued robe of gold and pearl, the fast title running for the king, the throne he sits on, nor the tide of pomp that beats upon the high shore of this world. No, not all these three gorgeous ceremony, not all these laid in bed majestical can sleep so soundly as the wretched slave, who with a body filled with vacant mind gets him to rest, crammed with distressful bread. Never sees horrid night, the child of hell, but like a lackey from the rise to set, sweats in the eye of Phoebus, and all night sleeps in Elysium. Next day after dawn doth rise and help Hyperion to his horse, and follows so the ever-running year with profitable labour to his grave. And but for ceremony, such a wretch, winding up days with toil and nights with sleep, had the forehand advantage of a king. The slave, a member of the country's peace, enjoys it, but in gross brain little wots what watch the king keeps to maintain the peace, whose hours are peasant best advantages. End scene.
Awesome. Okay, so I see Eleanor just joined us. So we got one more. Got a good turnout for the last round of 2022, which is good. So Eleanor will go, then John, and then we will spin for our scenes. Welcome back, Eleanor. It's been a while. And to welcome you back and have you do round and round it goes. Jockey, if not, this is Richard III. Yeah, it's the title character responding to, I think, to Rich. He's referring to Richmond in this one.
Could someone put a link in the chat for the text?
Sure. Give me a second. Oh, Elizabeth already put it. I was just about to paste that. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Yes, I know I can always rely on one of the others here to help me out on such things. Now I just have to figure out how do I move this so that
Okay. If you're having trouble, let me
let's go to the next person, please.
let's have John go while you're looking for that, and then you'll go. Then you'll go, and then we'll start. Okay, so where's John? There he is. Okay, so while Eleanor is looking for hers, you can do. Rumor, Henry IV, the induction to Henry IV Part 2.
Okay. Henry IV, Part 2. Okay.
Okay, whenever.
Is my face centered right? I can't see the screen. Can you see me? Oh. That might help a little. Open your ears, for which of you will stop the vent of hearing when loud rumor speaks? I, from the Orient to the drooping West, making the wind my post horse, still unfold the acts commenced on this ball of earth. Upon my tongue's continual slanders ride, the which in every language I pronounce, stuffing the ears of men with false reports. I speak of peace, while covert enmity under the smile of safety wounds the world. And who but rumor, who but only I make fearful musters and prepared defense, whilst the big year, swollen with some other grief, is thought with trial by the stern tyrant war, and no such matter. Rumor is a pipe blown by surmises, jealousies, conjectures, and of so easy and so plain a stuff that the blunt monster with uncounted heads, the still discordant wavering multitude can play upon it. But what need I thus my well-known body to anatomize among my household? Why is rumor here? I run before King Harry's victory, who in a bloody field by Shrewsbury hath beaten down young Hotspur and his troops, quenching the flame of bold rebellion even with the rebels' blood. But what mean I to speak so true at first? My office is to noise abroad that Harry Monmouth fell under the wrath of noble Hotspur's sword, and that the king before the Douglas raid stooped his anointed head as low as death. This have I rumored, through the peasant towns, between the royal field of Shrewsbury and this worm-eaten hold of ragged stone, where Hotspur's father, old Northumberland, lies crafty sick. The post come tiring on, and not a man of them brings other news than they have learned of me. From rumor's tongues they bring smooth comforts false, worse than true wrongs. Thank you.
Okay, good job. So, Eleanor, have you found yours now?
I believe I have.
Okay, so whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Jockey of Norfolk, be not too bold, for Dickon thy master is bought and sold. A thing devised by the enemy. Go, gentlemen, every man unto his charge. Let not our babbling dreams affright our souls. Conscience is but a word that cowards use, devised at first to keep the strong in awe. Our strong arms be our conscience, swords our law. March on, join bravely, let us to it pell-mell, if not to heaven, then hand in hand to hell. What shall I say more than I have inferred? Remember whom you are to cope withal, a sort of vagabonds, rascals, and runaways, a scum of Bretons and base lackey peasants, whom their o'ercloyed country vomits forth to desperate ventures and assured destruction. You sleeping safe, they bring to you unrest. You having lands, and blessed with beauteous wives, they would restrain the one, disdain the other. And who doth lead them but a paltry fellow, long kept in Bretagne at our mother's cost? A milksop, one that never in his life felt so much cold as over shoes and snow. Let's whip these stragglers o'er the seas again. Lash hence these overweening rags of France, these famished beggars, weary of their lives, who but for dreaming on this fond exploit, for want of means, poor rats, had hanged themselves. If we be conquered, let men conquer us, and not these bastard Bretons, whom our fathers have in their own land beaten, bobbed and thumped, and in record left them the heirs of shame. Shall these enjoy our lands, lie with our wives, ravish our daughters? Hark! I hear the drum. Fight, gentlemen of England, fight, bold yeomen, draw archers, draw your arrows to the head, spur your proud horses hard, and ride in blood. Amaze the welcome with your broken staves. What says Lord Stanley? Will he bring his power?
Okay, very nice. So let's now spin the wheel to get some scenes to provide roles for the 8 of us. So our scenes for today will be Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, Act 2, Scene 2. Merchant of Venice, Act 1, Scene 2, Portia and Marissa, is where they're talking about the boxes competition, basically giving the exposition on what's going to happen with that. Two Gentlemen, 3.1, The Duke and Valentine, and finally Winter's Tale, Leontes and Camillo. I believe this is where Camillo is the servant, where Leontes is giving the order to him to go kill his best friend. So you think it's suspicions. So the 8 roles for the 8 of us: Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, Act 2, Scene 2. Portia and Nerissa, Merchant, Act 1, Scene 2. The Duke and Valentine, Act 3, Scene 1 of Two Gentlemen, and Leontes and Camillo in Act 1, Scene 2 of Winter's Tale. John had the last choice with the monologue, so he will get the first choice here. John, what would you like of those?
Macbeth.
Macbeth will be John. Eleanor, what would you like out of those?
I'll be Lady Macbeth.
Okay. Henry, what would you like?
Portia, please.
Henry will be Portia. I will take, I'll take Leontes. Take Leontes, and Shelia is next choice.
Oh, goody. I want to be Camillo.
Shelia, you're going to be Camillo?
Yes.
Okay, so you and I will do that one together. So there's just Nerissa, the Duke, and Valentine left, and it's Bill's. Bill gets the next choice. Bill, Nerissa, Portia, Nerissa, the Duke, or Valentine?
How about Valentine?
Okay, Bill will be Valentine. And Maggie, you've got Nerissa or the Duke.
Does Elizabeth already have a part?
Oh, did I already give you?
No, I'm just asking. Do you have her written down with a part?
It's you and Elizabeth have the last few choices.
Oh, okay, and so Nerissa, I hope Elizabeth wants to do the Duke, because I've seen her do it and she's fantastic. So I'm going to saddle her with that. Okay, so I guess I'm Nerissa then.
Okay, so
and I was way too fast for me to know which act and scene.
Act 1, Merchant of Venice, Act 1, Scene 2. But we're doing the Macbeth scene first. So
yes, Act 1.
Okay, so just a recap. So we're going to have John and Eleanor are going to be the Macbeths. Then Henry and Maggie are going to be Portia and Nerissa in Merchant of Venice. Then Bill and Elizabeth will be the Duke and Valentine in Two Gentlemen. And then myself and Shelia will be Leontes and Camillo in Winter's Tale. So let me create the banner for the first one. Actually, bring up John, Beth, and Lady Macbeth. Found it. You're ready to go with it?
Yes.
Okay, so whenever you're ready, go.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace! It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman, which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I've drugged the possets that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Alack, I'm afraid they have awaked, and it is not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready, he could not miss them, Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband.
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did you not you speak?
When?
Now,
As I descended?
I
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
This one did laugh in sleep, and one cried murder. That they did wake each other, I stood and heard them. But they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
They're two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and Amen, the other, as they had seen me with these hangmen's hands. Listening their fear, I could not say Amen. When they did say, God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce Amen? I had most need of blessing, and Amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, Sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep, the innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life, sore labor's bath, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, Sleep no more, to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring those daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on't again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose, give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is't with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? Ha! They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No, this my hand will rather the multitudinous seas in Incarnadine make the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, more knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us, and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking, I wish thou couldst.
Okay, very nice. So next up, we have Henry and Maggie are going to be Portia and Nerissa.
So it's Act 1, Scene 2, right?
Yes, you're both ready to go?
I think so.
Almost.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh. Right. By my troth, Nerissa, my little body is aweary of this great world.
You would be, sweet madam, if your miseries were in the same abundance as your good fortunes are. And yet, for aught I see, They are as sick that surfeit with too much as they that starve with nothing. It is no mean happiness, therefore, to be seated in the mean. Superfluity comes sooner by white hairs, but competency lives longer.
Good sentences and well pronounced.
They would be better if well followed.
If to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches and poor men's cottages princes' palaces. It is a good divine that follows his own instructions. I can easier teach 20 what were good to be done than be one of the 20 to follow mine own teaching. The brain may devise laws for the blood, but a hot temper leaps or a cold decree. And such a hair is madness that youth to skip o'er the meshes of good counsel, the cripple. But this reasoning is not in the fashion to choose me a husband. Oh, me, the word choose. I may neither choose whom I would, nor refuse whom I dislike. So is the will of a living daughter curbed by the will of a dead father. Is it not hard, Nerissa, that I cannot choose one, nor refuse none?
Your father was ever virtuous, and holy men at their death have good inspirations. Therefore, the lottery that he hath devised in these 3 chests of gold, silver, and lead, whereof who chooses his meaning chooses you, will, no doubt, never be chosen by any rightly, but one who shall rightly love. But what warmth is there in your affection towards any of these princely suitors that are already come?
I pray thee, overname them, and as thou namest them, I will describe them, and according to my description, level at my affection.
First, there is the Neapolitan prince.
Ay, there's a colt indeed, for he doth nothing but talk of his horse, and he makes it a great appropriation of his own good parts, that he can shoe him himself. I am much afeard, my lady, his mother played false with a smith.
Then there is the County Palatine.
Oh, he doth nothing but frown, as who should say, if you will not have me choose. He hears merry tales and smiles not. I fear he will prove the weeping philosopher when he grows old, being so full of unmannerly sadness in his youth. I had rather be married to a death's head with a bone in his mouth than to either of these. God defend me from these 2.
Well, how say you by the French lord, Monsieur Le Bon?
God made him, and therefore let him pass for a man. In truth, I know it is a sin to be a mocker, but he, why, he hath a horse better than the Neapolitans, a better bad habit of frowning than the Count Palatine. He is every man in no man. If a throstle sing, he falls straight a capering. He will fence with his own shadow. If I should marry him, I should marry 20 husbands. If he would despise me, I would forgive him, for if he love me to madness, I shall never requite him.
What say you then to Falconbridge, the young Baron of England?
You know I say nothing to him, for he understands not me, nor I him. He hath neither Latin, French, nor Italian, and you will come into the court and swear that I have a poor pennyworth in the English. He is a proper man's picture, but alas, who can converse with a dumb show? How oddly he is suited. I think he bought his doublet in Italy, his round hose in France, his bonnet in Germany, and his behaviour everywhere.
Well, what think you of the Scottish lord, his neighbour?
Oh, that he hath a neighbourly charity in him, for he borrowed a box of the ear of the Englishman and swore he would pay him again when he was able. I think the Frenchman became his surety and sealed under for another.
Well, how like you the young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew?
Very vilely in the morning when he is sober, and most vilely in the afternoon when he is drunk. When he is best, he is a little worse than a man, and when he is worst, he is little better than a beast, and the worst fall that ever fell. I hope I shall make shift to go without him.
If he should offer to choose, and choose the right casket, You should refuse to perform your father's will if you should refuse to accept him.
Therefore, for fear of the worst, I pray thee, set a deep glass of Rhenish wine on the contrary casket, for if the devil be within that temptation without, I know he will choose it. I will do anything, Nerissa, ere I be married to a sponge.
You need not fear, lady, the having of any of these lords. They have acquainted me with their determinations, which is indeed to return to their home and to trouble you with no more suit, unless you may be won by some other sort than your father's imposition, depending on the caskets.
If I live to be as old as Sibylla, I will die as chaste as Diana, unless I be obtained by the manner of my father's will. I am glad this parcel of wooers are so reasonable, for there is not one among them but I dote on his very absence, and I pray God to grant him a fair departure.
Do you not remember, lady, in your father's time, a Venetian, a scholar, and a soldier that came hither in the company of Marquis de Montferrat?
Yes, it was Bassanio, as I think he was so called.
True, madam. He of all men that ever my foolish eyes looked upon was the best deserving of a fair lady.
I remember him well, and I remember him worthy of thy praise.
Okay, very nice. So next up, Elizabeth and Bill are going to be the Duke and Valentine.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Henry.
And then myself and Ophelia are on deck to do the Leontes and Clulo. Okay, so are you both ready? Elizabeth, are you here?
I'm ready. Elizabeth.
Oh, okay, there she is. So we'll do that, and then.
Sorry, I thought you guys were doing Winter's Tale. Okay. Are you ready, Bill?
Wait a second. Okay, now I'm ready.
Okay. Sir Valentine! Whither away so fast?
Please it your grace, there is a messenger that stays to bear my letters to my friends, and I'm going to deliver them.
Be they of much import?
The tenor of them doth but signify my health and happy being at your court.
Nay then, no matter, stay with me a while. I am to break with thee of some affairs that touch me near, wherein thou must be secret. 'Tis not unknown to thee that I have sought to match my friend Sir Thurio to my daughter.
I know it well, my lord, and sure the match were rich and honorable. Besides, the gentleman is full of virtue, bounty, worth, and qualities beseeming such a wife as your fair daughter. Cannot your grace win her to fancy him?
No, trust me, she is peevish, sullen, forward, proud, disobedient, stubborn, lacking duty, neither regarding that she is my child, nor fearing me as if I were her father. And may I say unto thee, this pride of hers upon advice hath drawn my love from her. And where I thought the remnant of mine age should have been cherished by her childlike duty, I now am full resolved to take a wife, and turn her out to who will take her in. Then let her beauty be her wedding dower. For me and my possessions she esteems not.
What would your grace have me to do with this?
There is a lady in Verona here whom I affect, but she is nice and coy, and naught esteems my aged eloquence. Now, therefore, would I have thee to my tutor, for long ago I have forgot to court. Besides, the fashion of the time is changed. How and which way I may bestow myself to be regarded in her sun bright eye.
Win her with gifts. If she respect not words, dumb jewels often in their silent kind more than quick words do move a woman's mind.
But she did scorn a present that I sent her.
A woman sometimes scorns what best contents her. Send her another. Never give o'er, for scorn at first makes after love the more. If she do frown, 'tis not in hate of you, but rather to beget more love in you. If she do chide, 'tis not to have you gone, for why? The fools are mad if left alone. Take no repulse, whatever she doth say, for get you gone, she doth not mean away. Flatter and praise, commend, extol her graces, though ne'er so black, say they have angels' faces. But man that hath a tongue, I say, is no man, if with his tongue he cannot win a woman.
But she, I mean, is promised by her friends unto a youthful gentleman of worth, and kept severely from resort of men, that no man hath access by day to her.
Why, then I would resort to her by night.
Aye, but the doors be locked and keys kept safe, that no man hath recourse to her by night.
What lets but one may enter at her window?
Her chamber is a loft, far from the ground, and built so shelving that one cannot climb it without apparent hazard of his life.
Why, then a ladder, quaintly made of cords to cast up with a pair of anchoring hooks, would serve to scale another hero's tower, so bold Leander would adventure it.
Now, as thou art a gentleman of blood, advise me where I may have such a ladder.
When would you use it, pray, sir? Tell me that.
This very night, for love is like a child that longs for everything that he can come by.
By 7 o'clock, I'll get you such a ladder.
But hark thee, I will go to her alone. How shall I best convey the ladder thither?
It will be light, my lord, that you may bear it under a cloak that is of any length.
A cloak as long as thine will serve the turn?
Aye, my good lord.
Then let me see thy cloak. I'll get me one of such another length.
Why, any cloak will serve the turn, my lord.
How shall I fashion me to wear a cloak? I pray thee, let me feel thy cloak upon me. What letter is the same? What's here? To Sylvia. And here an engine fit for my proceeding. I'll be so bold to break the seal for once. My thoughts do harbor with my Sylvia nightly, and slaves they are to me that send them flying ill. Oh, could their master come and go as lightly, himself would lodge where senseless they are lying. My herald thoughts in my pure bosom rest them, while I, their king, that hither do them importune, do curse the grace that with such grace hath blessed them, because myself do want thy servant's fortune. I curse myself, for they are sent by me, that they should harbor where their lord should be. What's here? Sylvia, this night I will enfranchise thee. 'Tis so. And here's the ladder for the purpose. Why, Phaeton, for thou art Merip's son, wilt thou aspire to guide the heavenly car, and with thy daring folly burn the world? Wilt thou reach stars because they shine on thee? Go, base intruder, overweening slave, bestow thy fawning smiles on equal mates, and think my patience, more than thy desert, is privilege for thy departure hence. Thank me for this more than for all the favors which all too much I have bestowed on thee. But if thou linger in my territories longer than swiftest expedition will give thee time to leave our royal court, by heaven, my wrath shall far exceed the love I ever bore my daughter or thyself. Begone! I will not hear thy vain excuse. But as thou lovest thy life, make speed from hence.
And why not death rather than living torment? To die is to be banished from myself, and Sylvia is myself. Banished from her is self from self, a deadly banishment. What light is light if Sylvia be not seen? What joy is joy if Sylvia be not by? Unless it be to think that she is by and feed upon the shadow of perfection. Except I be by Sylvia in the night, there is no music in the nightingale. Unless I look on Sylvia in the day, there is no day for me to look upon. She is my essence, and I leave to be, if I be not, by her fair influence, fostered, illumined, cherished, kept alive. I fly not death. To fly this deadly doom, tarry I here, but I attend on death. But fly I hence, I fly away from life.
Okay, awesome. So to wrap up our final round of the year, it'll be myself and Shelia as Leontes and Camilo. I figured we would start from I'm dismissing Mamilius. I said, what Camilo there? We'll take it from there. Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That's some comfort. What, Camilo there?
Ah, I'm sorry. My good lord.
Go play, Mamilius. Thou art an honest man. Camilo, this great sir will yet stay longer.
You had much ado to make his anchor hold. When you cast him out, it still came home.
Didst note it?
He would not stay at your petitions, made his business more material.
Didst perceive it? They're here with me already, whispering, rounding Cecilia's as go forth. 'Tis far gone, and I shall gust at last. How came it, Camilo, that he did stay?
At the good queen's entreaty.
At the queen's be it. Good should be pertinent, but so it is not. Was this taken by any understanding pate but thine? Thy conceit as soaking will draw in more than the common blocks. Not noted is't, but of the finer natures, by some severals of headpiece extraordinary? Lower messes, perchance, are to this business purblind? Say.
Business, my lord? I think most understand Bohemia stays here longer.
Ah!
Stays here longer.
Aye, but why?
To satisfy your highness and the entreaties of our most gracious mistress.
Satisfy? The entreaties of your mistress satisfy? Let that suffice. I have trusted thee, Camilo, with all the nearest things to my heart, as well my chamber counsels, wherein priest-like thou hast cleansed my bosom. I from thee departed, thy penitent reform, but we have been seen deceived in thy integrity, deceived in that which seems so.
Be it forbid, my lord.
To bide upon it. Thou art not honest, or if thou inclinest that way, thou art a coward, which hawks his honesty behind, restraining from course required. Or else thou must be counted a servant grafted in all my serious trust, and therein negligent, or else a fool that seest a game played home, the rich stake drawn, and takest it all for jest.
My gracious lord, I may be negligent, foolish, and fearful. In every one of these, no man is free, but that his negligence, his folly, fear, among the infinite doings of the world, sometimes puts forth. In your affairs, my lord, if ever I were willful negligent, it was my folly. If industriously I played the fool, it was my negligence, not weighing well the end. If ever fearful to do a thing where the issue doubted, whereof the execution did cry out against the non-performance, 'twas a fear which oft infects the wisest. these, my lord, are such allowed infirmities that honesty is never free of. But beseech your grace, be plainer with me. Let me know my trespass by its own visage. If I then deny it, 'tis none of mine.
Have not you seen Camillo? But that's past doubt you have, or your eyeglass is thicker than a cuckold's horn. Or heard, for to a vision so apparent rumor cannot be mute, or thought, for cogitation resides not in that man that does not think my wife is slippery? If thou wilt confess, or else be impudently negative, to have nor eyes, nor ears, nor thought, then say my wife's a hobby horse, deserves a name as rank as any flax wench that puts before her trough plight. Say it and justify it.
I would not be a stander by to hear my sovereign mistress clouded so, without my present vengeance taken. Through my heart, you never spoke what did become you less than this, which to reiterate were sin as deep as that.
Is whispering nothing? Is leaning cheek to cheek? Is meeting noses? Kissing with inside lip, stopping the career of laughing with a sigh, a note infallible of breaking honesty, horsing foot on foot? Skulking in corners, wishing clocks more swift. Hours, minutes, noon, midnight, and all eyes blind with a pin and web but theirs only, that would unseen be wicked. Is this nothing? Why then the world and all that's in it is nothing. The covering sky is nothing. Bohemia is nothing. My wife is nothing. Nor nothing have these nothings, if this be nothing.
Good my lord, be cured of this diseased opinion, and betimes, for 'tis most dangerous.
Say it be, 'tis true.
No, my lord.
It is, you lie. You lie, I say thou liest, Camillo, and I hate thee. Pronounce thee a gross lout, a mindless slave, or else a hovering temporizer that canst with thine eyes at once see good and evil, inclining to them both. Were my wife's liver infected as her life, she would not live the running of one glass.
Who does infect her?
Why, he that wears her like a medal hanging about his neck, Bohemia! Who, if I had servants true about me, that bear eyes to see alike mine honor as their profits, their own particular thrifts, they would do that which should undo more doing. I, and thou, his cupbearer, whom I from meaner form have beached and reared to worship, who mayst see plainly as heaven sees earth, and earth sees heaven, how I am galled! Mightst suffice a cup to give mine enemy a lasting wink, which draught to me were cordial.
Sir, my lord, I could do this. And that with no rash poison, but with a lingering dram that should not work maliciously like poison. But I cannot believe this crack to be in my dread mistress, so sovereignly being honorable. I have loved thee.
Make that thy question and go rot. Dost think I am so muddy, so unsettled, the purity and whiteness of my sheets, which to preserve is sleep, which being spotted is goads, thorns, nettles, tails of wasps? Give scandal to the blood of the prince my son, who I do think is mine, and love is mine, without right moving to it? Would I do this? Could man so blench?
I must believe you, sir. I do. And will fetch off Bohemia for it, provided that when he's removed, your highness will take again your queen as yours at first, even for your son's sake, and thereby for sealing the injury of tongues in courts and kingdoms known and allied to yours.
Thou dost advise me, even so as I mine own course have yet set down.
My
I'll
lord.
give no blemish to her honor, none.
Go then, and with a countenance as clear as friendship wears at feasts, keep with Bohemia and with your queen. I am his cupbearer. If for me he have wholesome beverage, account me not your servant.
This is all. Do it, and thou hast the one half of my heart. Do it not, thou splits thine own.
I'll do it, my lord.
I will seem friendly, as thou hast advised me.
Oh, miserable lady. But for me, what case stand I in? I must be the poisoner of good Polixenes, and my ground to do it is the obedience to a master. One who in rebellion with himself will have all that are his, so too. To do this deed, promotion follows. If I could find example of thousands that had struck anointed kings and flourished after, I'd not do it. But since nor brass, nor stone, nor parchment bears not one, let villainy itself forswear it. I must forsake the court. To do it or no is certain to me a breakneck. Happy star, reign now. Here comes Bohemia.
Okay. That was fine. Quite a challenge getting into that. Okay, thank you everybody for the great performances, all of you. We had a great last round of the year. I hope everybody has great holidays, and I look forward to seeing you all in the new year with the 2023 season of Wheel of Shakespeare. I'll see you guys then. Bye now.